right, Danielle, go ahead.
Good morning, Betty. With Elias Diaz, what improvements have you seen as the season's gone on from him?
Well, it's still early in the season, Danielle. I think we're going to see the best of Elias moving forward. But from a year ago till now, I think there's been great strides on the defensive side. Mike Redmond and Aaron Munoz have both done great work with Elias on the defensive side, all areas, receiving, blocking, throwing mechanics, game calling, everything that goes in to being a successful big league catcher. Elias is still, working his way to that ultimate of being, just so solid, and we're excited about that. We got to get the back going for sure. I think there's more offense in there. This is, he's off to a tough start, but there's a lot of that pass left. We're not even out of airplay yet, so he's going to be a contributor.
And with Chris Owings, has he had the surgery yet, and how is he doing?
He's here. He's here today. He popped into my office. Obviously the doctor who performed the surgery, Dr. Sheridan, is one of the best in the country, based out of Phoenix. He said the surgery went well. There's a timeline for this. This is a pretty common surgery for baseball players there around the thumb joint. And he'll, within a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, start taking ground balls. He's got a soft cast on that will be removed at some point in the next few weeks. He'll start, more intense physical therapy. But it's going to be 60 days. Prior to that, he'll be in minor league games, hopefully, and rehabbing and getting ready to, hopefully at some point rejoin us.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thomas?
Yes, buddy. We've seen Ben Bowden come in, face a very good major league hitter and several good hitters over the last 2 days. What kind of growth have you seen from him over the last 2-3 weeks? I mean, it seems like there's been some growth there, hasn't it?
Well, there's, still early, Thomas, but, I think the thing that sticks out for me is the mentality with Ben. I think he's on the attack, trusts his stuff. He's a guy that's going to pitch with his fastball, but, I think the improvement of the secondary pitches will, continue as we move forward. He understands that, at the big league level, he just can't get away with, majority of fastballs. Very few guys can. But the slider is going to come into play, and the changeup to the righty is going to come into play. But what I've noticed is he doesn't scare off. He's got great confidence and conviction and stuff.
Yeah, I think the thing with him too, I've noticed a very aggressive mentality there. Do you work with him to kind of keep that under control at times?
So you got to balance it where you still have to make pitches. You got to be poised, which I think he is. But there's an emotional component to Ben's game, which I like. He's a little fiery. He's intense, which is great. But he also knows that he has to execute pitches, wherever those pitches are for the scouting report to, the opposing hitter, and also Ben's strength. So again, he knows he's a pretty quick learner. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Hopefully, as the season rolls on, we'll see a little bit more consistency in his outings.
And as far as that is concerned, notice you went back to Kenley last night. You're not going to, it doesn't look like you're going to have very many games where a guy can just kind of go out there and relax a bit. They're all going to be close games, it looks like, doesn't it?
Well, so far it's been, right? Every game we've played, with the exception of maybe 2, have been tight. So, guys are going to be tested. Hopefully there'll be a number of games where our offense explodes, our pitchings hold the other team down. We have, those types of games. But, our guys, again, we know what we're in for as we move forward, and all those guys will be ready on the board.
Hey, are there any reports that are kind of sticking out to you from guys that are in the minor league games down at Salt River? I know that we don't get a lot of information, but Is there anybody there that is kind of sticking out to you right now as far as their performance right now?
Well, some of the guys that were in big league camp continue to swing the bat well. Connor Joe's doing fine. He's back after about a week. He attended his grandmother's funeral, but he's back and playing and looks good at the plate. Brian Valade continues to have great at-bats, which he did in spring training. Colton Welker, same, doing well. On the pitching side, Rollison is throwing the ball well. Lucas Gilbert's had, a game or two down there, and he's been fine. Justin Lawrence has pitched outstanding. Some of the younger minor league kids who are on the, there's alternate site competition, and there's also minor league competition. Some of the younger guys on the minor league side are doing fine. Don't have a lot of particulars on some of those younger fellows, but the reports coming back from Zach Wilson are that everybody's, not doing anything that we're not worried about, put it that way.
Okay. Hey, thank you, buddy.
Owen?
Well, hey, buddy. I just following up on yesterday. You said you might do some research, get some scouting reports on the Oscars.
Yeah, I did Owen this morning, and sadly to say, God, I wish I could give you some info, but due to the virus, I didn't get to the movie theater, as like all of us weren't able to. So these movies, some of these actors, actresses, directors, screenplays, I'm not up to speed, my man. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm gonna take a year off from the Oscars. Maybe within the next year or so, I'll see the best picture or things that come my way as far as people telling me this is a must see. But Owen, 2021 Oscars, in 2 words, I'm out.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Kyle Fredrickson?
Hey, buddy, just one quick one from me. Hoping to just sort of get an assessment of where this team is at. Looking at this 4-2 stretch that you guys have been on, what have you liked most about your team's performance? And you've got a big road trip ahead. What do you see being some of the keys to your success as you guys leave Coors?
Well, continue to pitch well out of the rotation. I'd like to tighten up a few things in the bullpen to keep the game close or keep the score where it needs to be for us to win. To get to, a couple guys in our bullpen who've been pitching very well, late in the game. Offensively, we got to pick it up. There's no doubt about that. I think as a group, we're down. I said a few days ago that, a month from now, look at the batting averages, they'll be different than where they are now. So I think just total team offense, we have to improve. Our on-base percentage is not where it needs to be. Some guys' batting average is not where we think it's going to end up. So that's the key. We got to score more runs. We got to generate more base runners. And I think that's the thing that we're focusing on the offensive side. I think defensively we're playing pretty solid baseball. I saw training that's carried over to the season. So in the field, I think we've been fine. On the mound overall, I'm probably a positive. Offensively, we got to pick it up.
Michael Kelly?
Yeah, buddy, just following up on Chris Owings. I'm sorry if I missed it, but when did he have the surgery?
He had it within the last 5 days. I want to say about 4 or 5 days ago. I don't know the exact date.
All right, thank you.
Kevin Henry?
Hey, buddy. Just want to follow up on one of Thomas's questions. And with a guy like a Colton Welker, the benefits for him developing, being a part of the taxi squad and seeing what it's like to be a big leaguer, for lack of a better term, versus actually playing and being a part of things in Arizona. How do you balance that? Just curious.
I think it's advantageous for a player to, even though he's not active, to be in and around the big league environment during the regular season. You know, he can see the intensity of a big league game. He can see the focus, what's going on in the dugout. He can feel the energy, you know, prior to a game, cage during batting practice. He gets to hit and take grounders on big league fields. So when it does become real for a player, when they're active and they're in a game, they start, they come off the bench, you know, at least there's some frame of reference that they've been through this. So I think it's great. I mean, you know, we'll change up our taxi squad this trip out west, and you know, other guys will get that experience on the last trip. You know, we had Welker, we had Ravago, we had Alan Trejo, we had Lucas Gilbreth, and we had Antonio Santos. You know, we'll mix it up with you know, 5 new guys this trip to let them get that experience. You know, they'll get on our airplane. They'll see how the day unfolds, you know, travel wise and going to the ballpark. And so when their time comes, you know, they won't be in, for lack of a better word, awe of being in the big leagues. They've experienced that. So, you know, it's a good thing. So, you know, as much as we haven't liked what's gone on the last year with the virus, there has been some things that have been beneficial for players.
And is it too early to ask who those players will be? Or should we
Yeah, probably a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we know who they are, but I mean, you'll know soon enough.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Few more from Thomas.
Yeah, I just wanted to circle back around to some of those close games you're playing. You've seen a couple of really good at-bats from Hampson late in games lately. Who are some of the guys that you're seeing make those incremental improvements to where maybe you get a more dependable at-bat in the 8th and 9th inning, these one-run games?
Well, again, it's you know, it doesn't happen overnight. You know, the experience that, you know, these guys are going through is, you know, ongoing. You know, like, you know, Trejo's at bat yesterday, you know, took a strike, took a ball, then, you know, actually hit a pretty good pitch in the, you know, left center field gap. I think Dawes's at bats off the bench have been pretty solid. It was good to see Sam, you know, rip one off the wall the other day, you know, pinch hitting. It's a hard job, pinch hitting. I know that, you know, our group statistically has done pretty well in National League games this year. I know there's some teams that don't have a hit off the bench this year, so it's hard. It's a hard role, but you know, experience helps you. It's not you know, it's not an easy task, but you know, for the most part, our guys are you know, doing a pretty good job. And I know that the preparation that, you know, National League players go through in the middle part of the game, watching the game, watching the potential bullpen group that the opposing team has warm up and you know, doing their individual homework on a particular relief pitcher that they might face. That's all happening, and our guys are, you know, on point when it comes to that.
Thank you, buddy.